For our announcements today, I encourage you to be in prayer for Ernesto and Cristina Garcia, as well as their families, as they mourn the passing of Ernesto's brother, David. We prayed and prayed for David, and we hoped and hoped that God would do a miracle and heal him, but he has succumbed to the effects of COVID-19. Our hearts are broken, and our love goes out to Ernesto and Cristina, to Benjamin and Ricky. David was too young, and this was not the time. And so our hearts are broken, and we lament together this loss. Today, I also encourage you to pray for our city, pray for our country. Many people are upset at the unjust death of George Floyd, who died with a white police officer's knee on his neck. If you've seen the video, you cannot help but be horrified at just the indifference and the cruelty that was displayed. And unfortunately, this is a scene that's played out more than just once in our country. It's happened several times this year and has a history going back to the very founding of our country. So let's pray for the African American community in particular, for minorities as well, and anyone who has suffered injustice. It is outrageous. And let's also be in prayer for our police and National Guard as they try to control looting and rioting in our city. We want them to be safe as well. And let's pray for healing and reconciliation between different communities in our city. For our offering today, I'd like to encourage you to consider supporting the Benevolence Fund. This is the fund that the deacons use to help members of our church and our community who are dealing with the loss of a job or a financial challenge of some sort. This is a time when those funds are especially needed, and so if you are able, please consider giving to the Benevolence Fund. For our prayers of the people, I'd like to encourage you to consider writing your own Psalm of Lament. Remember the 4 steps. Turn to God, complain to God, ask of God, and trust in God. As I was preparing for today's message and watching Mark Vroegop preach, I couldn't help but take time and write down some of the things that I've lost during this period and things that I'm longing for. And it was very healing for me. So I encourage you to take time as we listen to this next song to consider also writing your Psalm of Lament and handing over your losses, your burdens, your anxieties, and your fears to God, and trusting that He's got all of this in His hands. With that in mind, let's now turn our hearts to God in offering and in prayer.